everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. A lot of lead questions for you all to practice out here with me. Okay, so what we'll be doing, I have listed down a few lead code questions over here, which we'll be seeing how to solve out, what's the logic behind those questions, maybe how to approach those out. We'll be seeing all of these respective things today into this particular video. So as you all know, whenever you have to apply for any MNC or any of the good companies, you require a good lead code or maybe a HackerRank or good hacker profile, right? So by you solving of these questions, you build up your profile over there. You just get a lot of the stars over here. Then you become a lot of a good kind of a programmer too, right? So yeah, if you are thinking to go into any MNC, apply for any MNC, just make sure that you are having up some of the either profiles on any of these coding platforms, so that it gives you a maybe a good result into the resume shortlisting and the interview process too. Okay, so yeah, here we are having a few questions with me. I am having all of those with me, and we will be doing up these questions here into this particular video. So let's get started up here. So we have this very first question over here. This is a question of an array. So right, the question goes here, okay, given an array of integers, numbers and an integer target, return indices on the two numbers such that they add up to the target. Okay, wait a second, I would just show you people about this lead code thing which I was talking about. Just give me a minute, then we'll be proceeding in further. Okay, so I would go with Explore. I'll first of all show you from Explore what is it all around, and now you can just go ahead and do up a lot of things over here. Okay, so see, these are the lead code things. Here you're having the beginner's guide, the essay, top questions, dynamic programming. For the interview, you are having a lot of things, other cheat sheets, DSA. Okay, if you want to learn something, so yeah, you can just go over from here, and you're having a lot of chapters as well over here to learn about these things, right? And if you want to practice up the questions, just go over here to the problems. Okay, and you just get a list of a lot of problems to practice out for you over here. Okay, so you are having a study plan, and you have a lot of topics in which topic you want to maybe do the practice, or for what questions you want. Like you are having a lot of topics over here. Okay, and which topic you want, you can select your own topic, and from here you are having the different mediums of the different types and all of those respective things. Okay, so this is what this respective lead code is all about. Now when you will be going from here, you will be further proceeding in and maybe having a lot of questions to practice out, right? So you can just choose from here as well, according to your sake of convenience, whatever you wish to. But yeah, you require some one or the other thing as well, very much, because you have to have a good profile on any of the coding or maybe these coding kind of a platform, so as to get shortlisted much easier rather than the people who are not having any profile on any other platforms, right? So what happens over here, lead code is key. You get a problem to solve. Okay, you have a question, and you have a complete problem statement explained up. Even you get the inputs and the outputs, that what input you should give and what output it should return you, that all as well you have it. So it's just what you do, you write the code on behalf of that. Okay, you just have to write the code on behalf of that, and then that numbers you will be inputting, and the exact output whatever was there, you should get that respective output as well, right? This is what happens up here. Normally when we do programming, what we do, we just give our own inputs, maybe the choice of our inputs, whatever we want, but this doesn't happen here, right? Here you are having a input and output to be given. Okay, that's the one thing. Second, you have to make sure you are taking care of the time complexities over here a lot, because this matters really too much. Here what happens, many questions are there where you have to even check out and look on for the time complexities too. You have to say that, okay, from where or what time complexity can be reduced as well to make your program work much faster, because this is not your own console onto which you are working. It is one of the live platforms into which you write the code and you run up the code as well, right? So that's the one thing which happens out over here, which you have to make sure you're following in very clearly and seriously. Okay, so now I would start out with the questions over here. Okay, so we are having up an array of integer numbers, right? And we are even having up an integer target. it returns the indices on the two numbers such that they add up to the target. It means that the indices of the two numbers which we are having, it should return and give us the add off to the target. That is what, right? So the exactly question is, you may assume that each input would have exactly one solution and you may not use the same element twice, right? You can return the answer in any order. These are the things which you can do. So the input, let's say input I have given is 2, 7, 11, 15 and target is 9, right? So output should be 0 and 1. It means that what is the code all about and the program all about? Whatever the inputs I have given, I will give the inputs and even I will give the target. The inputs which I am having, those inputs should sum and give me the result as the target, and it should even show me that for what the input, what was the index of the input which you have added and has resulted me the target number. This is what the complete program, this complete thing is all about, right? So see here, what is this thing? We are having as input numbers. We are having 2, 7, 11, 15. These four numbers we are having. Now I want the result as 9. So what I would do, it's simply that 2 plus 7 we will be adding, it will result me 9. So in the output I want the index of 2 and 7. So see, my output is 0, 1. So the number which is present on 0 and a number which is present on 1, if I am going to add both of those, it will result me the result which is 9, and that is my target. So my resultant output which I am getting is 0, 1. This is one of the things which I have up over here. In the same manner, second example, again the input numbers are let's say 3, 2 and 4. And the target is 6. This time it will be 4 plus 2. That will result me 6. So my output is gonna be 1, 2, means first index and the second index. So you add first and the second index and you will get the respective target. This is the question all about, okay? And in the LeetCode, this question is measured as a medium level. So difficulty level for this respective question is medium. Okay, great. So see, now what you will do, you will just simply go ahead and make a quick solution for the same thing. Okay, so solution making is quite very simple for this respective question. It won't make an issue. What you have to do, just you have, okay, see on LeetCode what happens, okay, for every question you already have a maybe a class and a function made out. You just have to write the main part of the code. You do not have to worry about making a class or about making a function or anything like that. No, nothing like that. You just have to simply see what is this respective, the main code of the program. You have to write that 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of the code. You don't have to make your own class or own function. These all the things or whatever necessary things are there, those are already defined up over there. You don't have to look for those things, right? So that's one of the things which we have over here in the LeetCode. So I would just make the same class which was there in the LeetCode for this question, and that was a solution class, okay? And I would just make the same function which was there. So it was def2sum. The name for the function was def2sum. What I'll do, I would just okay, yeah, it's okay. Give me a minute. Fine. So yeah, this was my class. So this was my function which we were having, and I would just simply pass a self, because yeah, we are making up a class over here and we want to further make the instances and everything. So I'm just simply passing out the self function inside my toSum function, which is inside my class solution. Okay, self comma, I would give the numbers, and I would just make the list of my int, that is my integers. Okay, comma, what I'll do, I would just simply set up a target, or maybe the target variable which we had it, and which yeah we require as well to make out the target, and that will also be belonging to an integer. Great. And then what I am doing, I am using a pointer. I hope you remember, you know what a pointer is actually, right? Pointers are, they point and they actually hold a value, right? They point to a value and hold up that respective thing. And I am pointing that respective thing to my integer int. Fair enough? Yeah, that is all fair enough. Like, what are the things we are having up over here for this question? These are written up very clearly. Whatever I wanted to pass as well, that is respectively done. Now what you could do, you can just simply take, let's say A as a variable for me, and I am now going to take the length of my nums. So nums is my variables which I have made up over here, and that is referring to my list of the integers. Means the integer, these are the list of the integers which we are having. And how I have taken nums, because nums is already defined, you know, you for the input nums should be the thing which you are having up, right? So I have this nums with me, and the same value, in the same manner we are having a target as well. So those nums and the target, both things I have just taken from here only. Okay, that is the thing. Now why I had taken this list as an integer, because the result which we are getting, this 0 comma 1, this result I am getting up into the form of a list. So yeah, that needs to be given up over here, because the form of this respective thing is in the list. So that is the reason I have previously and already defined my integer as a list only, right? So I am just trying to find the length of my nums. So first of all, that what is the total length of my, because see here in the solution, at one place we are having 4 values, at one place we are having 3 values, and at the other place we are having 2 values. So I need to first of all count what is the length, so that I can apply the loop up to that particular place only. True. Next I'll go with my loop. So for I in range, I'm gonna do for I in range, and into the bracket I'm just simply gonna do a minus 1. So we know it will go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the maybe the length, which is length minus 1. Okay, because my loop will start with 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, right? So yeah, that is done. And next I'm just gonna apply up a loop for the j loop, maybe for my like increment in the numbers, right? From moving from one position to the other position to the third position like that. For that, j in range, and into the bracket I am just gonna do I plus 1 comma okay, 1 second, I'm just gonna write here as n. So first loop was for counting that what's the total length and going up to the length, and the second one was the key from, okay, we have to go from I plus 1, means whatever the numbers we are incrementing, whatever the positions we are incrementing, I have to go on to each and every single position from here. Right, now my condition will go that if my nums, okay, if my nums, maybe whatever the indices we are having into my number, plus, and at whatever the indices, means ij, means it will be 0, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3 like that, right? So if this num1 plus maybe let's say num0 plus num1, if that is equal to target, right? If that is the thing, so in the simple place what I would do, I would just simply return I comma j. Right, now that is what is the thing to be done out over here. So see what is simply done. Simply I have made a class, maybe with a name of a solution class, right? It was already defined onto the LeetCode, that same name I have taken. Then what I did, I simply made a function named as toSum. Inside that I passed out the cells. Secondly, I passed out a list of the integers which will be my input. Target will again be my input, and the list of the integers, that will be my output. As simple as that. I pass out all of these things. Then what I tried out, into a variable named as a, I tried to find the length of the numbers over here, right? So as a length of the numbers, I tried to find out what is the length of the different numbers, or sorry, what is the length of all the total numbers which we are having up over here. Then what I did, I simply applied a for I and a j loop to iterate over all of my numbers and go over all of those things. So while iterating, I even want to check that whatever the positions the numbers are, maybe if the numbers are 0 position, 1 position, 2 position, whatever positions the number are, I want to check in ki are these numbers like simply going ahead and getting added or something like that, right? Ki num of 0 and num of 1, if they are targeting to my target or something like that. So I'm just trying to add up all of those things and simply trying to return the respective indices where those indices are equal to my target. Maybe not the indices, yeah, but the indices into those the numbers are present, those are equal to my target. That is what is my whole solution all about. Now further, what will be done further, if you will try the same thing on the LeetCode, you will be making up a maybe the object of this class, which is solution, calling the function, and it will be resulting to the respective result. Right, I can do that over LeetCode right away because I have already written the complete program, so I can't execute it right away like that onto the LeetCode. But yeah, once you are going to do this respective thing over there, it's simply going to result in the respective solution for the complete code. So this is how this particular thing works, and this is how this respective thing goes in, and this is what is exactly the solution of this particular question. So I hope you are pretty clear with the same thing about this particular answer of the solution. Okay, so moving on to the next question, we are having the next question over here for the same LeetCode question. So now next question is that we are given up two non-empty linked lists which are representing two non-negative integers. Okay, so two empty linked lists which are having non-negative integers. So the digits are stored in a reverse order. Okay, and each of their nodes contains a single digit. Okay, add the two numbers and return the sum as a linked list. Okay, simply what we have to do, we first of all have two non-empty linked lists which are with us, and we are even having positive integers onto that. So the digits which we are having into those linked lists, those are stored into the reverse order, means opposite order, fine. And each and every single node which is over there with each of the numbers, those are having up a single digit. Means at 0th index there is single digit, at first index single digit, at second index single digit, like that. Okay, so what has to be done, you have to add the two numbers and return the sum as a linked list. What you have to do, you just have to add the two numbers over there, and you have to result the sum as a linked list, which will be my answer. So let's see that what is it be asking to us to do. So see, as my first list over here is given as this, let's say 2 4 3. Okay, this is my very first list. My second list here is 5 6 and 7. Fine, 2 4 3 5 6 and 7. So my output is 7 0 8. And how is that even done? So see, adding 2 plus 5 results me 7. Okay, in the same manner. Here this 4 plus 1 second. Here this 4 plus 6 is resulting me 0. But what is happening? 1 is going and getting added to the next position. It is only representing me 0. Now 4 plus 3 is 7, but I had 1 left out over there. So that is my 8. So for here it has resulted me 8. I'll give you one other example too. I hope you might be clear with that. Okay, see again here. So see what is happening here. We are having okay, so let's go for example number 2. Here I'm having list 1 as 0, list 2 as again 0. So my output will be 0 because adding this and this resulting me as 0. Fine. Here my list 1 is this 9999 something, list 2 is again 99 something, and the output it is gonna be C. 9 plus 9 it results you 18, right? Again 9 plus 9 results you 18, but you have 1 left out with you, so that is 1. Again 9 plus 9 results you 18, but again we are having 1 left, 1 with us, so that is 19. So that is why again 9. Again that same thing. Now when my L2 finishes at 4 positions, so at here 4 positions L2 finishes, right? After that with 9 we are having 1 left out, so that is why it is giving me 0 because of 10. So 1 is not considered, we are just getting the thing which is at the first position, and that is 0. So 0 0 0, and at last it will result me 1, right? So that is how this respective program has to be written, and it has to be designed in this particular manner. So again what I'll do, I'll very quickly make a class which is a solution class. Okay, 1 second, yeah. Going for my function, and my function will be, let's say, at 2 numbers. This is the name for my function. Okay, now inside this particular function I would start passing with myself first of all. Okay, I would pass my L1, that is my list 1, and I'll assign that as list node because yeah, we are having nodes over here. Okay, next will be my L2, my list 2, and again it is going to be list node. Fine. Pointing towards this, I again have my list node. So this is what we have inside this respective complete function, right? Now I will just simply go ahead and make up the respective things. Let's say A is a variable which we are having, and I am just going to write list node. Okay, and trying to assign that with the index of 0, right? Right now list node is having just 0 with us. Let's say I have the b variable and I am assigning the value of a to my variable which is b, and I am having one more variable which is c, and I am just simply trying to assign that right now as 0. Fine, I just defined out 3 variables and assigning them as different values. Now I will just further go ahead with my condition. So my very first condition will be, see, now here when you are writing up any code, you have to make sure with the time complexity and each and every single thing. So it might happen you are using a lot of maybe functions over here or some things like that, right? So while my L1, that is my L1 list one which we have made, while L1 is not, okay, is not none, till the time this is not empty, or my list 2 L2, because we will be taking 2 inputs, right? One input, both the inputs should not be empty. So I'm just checking that condition is not. If you have like checked out the operators, so there is a operator is not, right? So yeah, while L1 is not none or L2 is not none, or C variable which we had named is not equal to 0. If this is the condition, one second, is not equal to 0. If this is a condition which is satisfying, then it will go further. Then I will make a variable dig1. That will be my digit 1, okay? So dig1 L1 dot value, okay, L1 dot val. My condition will go that if L1 is not none, else 0. So I don't know if you know this line or not, but I'll explain you what this line is all about. So this respective is maybe a shorthand if else condition. The technical term for this particular thing is shorthand if else condition. I'll explain you how this works. So if L1 is not none, if this condition is true, that if the value which is in L1 it is not none, then this L1 dot val will be executed. Otherwise the result will be 0. Okay, this is actually termed as shorthand if else. If you have previously referred out my Python videos in detail, so you might have got this respective thing right away. So it is being referred as if L1 is not none. In that case, I want L1 dot val as a result. Otherwise, else it will be 0. So this is called shorthand if else. It has helped to save the lines. I also save the length of the code and complexity of the code too. Okay. In the same manner, I have dig2, that is digit 2. So L2 dot val, and my condition goes that if L2 is not none. Again that same way, else 0. So till the time if my L2 is not none, my list 2 is not none, it will give me L2 dot val, otherwise 0. As simple as that. Now I will make a variable as sum, and I would just add my digit 1 plus digit 2 plus C. Now the C is referring to my carry. Carry, if you understand, see what was happening, if 9 and 9 are getting added, so 1 and 8 is my result, 18. So what 1 is getting carried and we are getting 8 as a output. Again if 9 plus 9 is getting added, right, that is 18. Again if 1 is getting added, so that is 19. But again we are just getting 9, 1 is getting carried. So that the C is referring up to my carry. So sum is what? It is the addition of digit 1, digit 2 and the carry also, because that will be my result. Right, so I would just maybe make a variable as D, and I maybe say that sum percent, where is my percent sign, this some percent, and I'm just simply trying to get the remainder of this respective thing, right, as simple as that. And now my C will hold here as sum /10. So yeah, one is for the quotient, one is for the remainder. If you know, you understand very clearly ki 1% is for the quotient and the other one is for my remainder, right? Now till the time this is done, now I would just try to make up a new node, okay, that list node which you are having, and inside that I would just simply give the D, that is my sum %10, that is referring to my remainder, right? Next we are having okay, now next what I would just do, I would take my variable which was B, okay. So now that b dot next, okay, b dot next, and now it will be referring to my new node, means a new node will be assigned to this respective thing, right? And again the b will be equal to b dot next, right? So it means that it is always further processing and processing and processing. Now I would again take that L1 and L2. L1 is and L2 are my two lists. So L1 will be my, if L1 dot, my condition will go that if L1 is not none, that is my condition, right? If L1 is not none, else none. So my respective condition goes that if L1, okay, one second, if L1, so my respective condition goes that if L1 is not none, means if L1 is not none, in that case L1 dot next will be returned, otherwise none will be returned. The same condition will go for my list 2 as well, L2. So here it will be L2 dot next, it will be if L2 is not none, else none. Okay, one second, else none, like that, right? The same manner as it was done. So now this is respectively completely done. I'll just go here, get out of here, and I will just simply maybe take a result, and it will be dummy head dot next, and down the line I would just assign that assign it as dummy dummy head dot next is equal to none, and I would simply return my result. Right, yeah, see, so this was the program for this respective question, where we just have to add the same indexes of both of the list, right? And as a result, what should we get? We should get the sum of both of the indexes of both of the list. But the condition was if it is a 2-digit number as a sum, if you are getting a 2-digit number, you just very simply, what you have to do, you have to return the first digit and you just have to write the second digit. The first digit will be a carry and the second digit will be onto my output list. This is my respective whole program which was required to write. So we simply made a solution class, we made the functions, we assigned the different values, and just very simply we are trying to check if L1 and L2 those are not empty, right? In that case we are trying to maybe go on to the different positions, and in that respective case I'm just simply trying to add both of the things, and if there is a carry we are trying to even add that carry number too, right? And this will be checked with the help of the sum and the remainder things, right? And yeah, simply then we are assigning the values to our list and going ahead and doing up those all the things. So this is how this complete program is designed. This is how this respective program is written up over here. Fine. So this is the thing which we are having up. We are having the empty linked list, and which should contain non-negative integers. That was our condition. Non-negative integers, that was our condition. Okay. Now next question here we are having up an integer, that is x, right? We have to return if true, if x is a palindrome. Palindrome, if you know, palindrome is a number which we read from starting or the end, it is the same only, right? So let's say we are having a number 131. So if you started from the left to right or right to left, it is the same 131 131. Okay, that is what is a palindrome number. So now here we are having a input, maybe input is let's say 1 to 1, so output should be true, right? So if we are reading 1 to 1 from the left or towards the right, it is gonna be same only, right? So yeah, that is what. Now here if we have taken input as minus 1 to 1, so it would result me false, because minus 1 to 1, if we reverse, it will be 1 to 1 minus. Now that is not true, because that minus sign is getting replaced up from the position, from the respective position. Okay, so that is what is this particular thing. Okay, so this is not a palindrome number. Fine. So the next question will be, this is termed as the easy question under the LeetCode. So again, you will be just already getting this respective things as a class and everything written. I'm just making that very quick. And you will even get the function name as well. So class is my solution, and my function name here is okay, 1 second, is palindrome. Okay, yeah, diff and is palindrome. And into the bracket I am having this as self, and I'm just simply taking x and setting that as integer, and then my respective output will be in the boolean value, right? So this, like everything, we just try to set it up over here. Okay, what will be the data type of my inputs, what will be the data type of my outputs, and what will be the data type for my output also, right? Everything. So I would just simply take maybe x as a variable, and I would just simply first of all try to have my list, convert that to my str, and then simply take that inside my list, right? So what I am doing, I'm just simply taking all of my these integers into my list. Okay, this can be same, so x underscore 1 I am just simply taking up over here. So x, and then x underscore 1 is my variable, and I am just trying to simply take that inside this list. I'm just trying to convert that into a string, and then simply converting that over the list. That is what is to be done, right? Next I am having x underscore 1 underscore, and I just try to take rev, that is my reverse, as a variable name. Okay, and now what I am doing, I am reversing that and again storing that onto a thing. So to simply see what I am doing, I am having two variables, and these two different variables are storing up my list into the form of these strings, right? My list means the numbers which are inside, those are onto the integer formats, but I am trying to store that into the list format. Now next what I am having, next x underscore 1 underscore rev, that particular variable we are having, right? And now I am trying to set that x underscore 1 underscore rev. Now I am trying to check both of these respective things. Okay, but before that, what I have to do, I have to reverse that true as well, right? So I would just write x underscore 1 underscore rev dot. I would simply use the reverse function. Now see, this is a very simple program. I hope you all know about reversing up of the numbers, and how is this respective thing done. True. So yeah, this I'm just reversing, and then I am now trying to check both of the things. So just allow me a minute. This has to be removed, and simply this. If this is the thing, then I would simply return up here as true. And what I would do, I would simply apply my condition as if over here, and giving the tab space. So if this is the thing, it has to be returned as true. Otherwise, what it has to be done, it has to be returned here as false, right? So this is what is to be done. So this program was pretty simple. You just have to take a number, and you just have to use up a reverse function. If the reverse of both of the numbers is same, the true will be returned, otherwise false. So here if the input is given as, let's say 121, let's say here the maybe the input which was 121, if we give this one, so it will result me that okay, the true. And if I give -1 to 1, it will result me here as false. So this is what is the one thing over here for both of the things, right? So I hope you are pretty clear with these questions which I have like gone through over here. We have taken 3 questions from this LeetCode thing over here. Okay, from the LeetCode we have taken these 3 questions. Now it's your time to go over. You can search the questions for respective companies as well from here. Now it's your time to go over the LeetCode and start solving up different questions, because it will help you to simply grow better, simply go ahead and sort and maybe do up a lot of questions, increase your programming skills, increase up your coding skills too, right? So I hope this is pretty clear to you. So I hope even you got the idea about these questions. We'll be further taking a lot of questions in further videos. This is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.